Hey, Tony Gadsden here. One of the things I want to touch on really quickly is I saw quite a few people talking about the man Maxwell, something Maxwell, or Maxwell something, who took the life of the young lady. It was quite a few people that believe it was the age difference. That the main thing here is the age difference. And that's not the main thing. That's not the main thing at all. Because there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of 30-some-year-old men with 19, 20-year-old women. Look at what we see right now with the 39-year-old woman with the 22-year-old NBA player. Like, the age difference is not, we're not talking about somebody was lied to. Somebody was just misled or just cheated on. We're talking about somebody was dismembered. Somebody was chopped into pieces. That ain't got nothing to do with age. They ain't got nothing to do with the age difference. They ain't got nothing to do with that. So don't put it on that. What opened the door for it, because it ain't, a lot of men older could be older perverts, and they just want a little young whippersnapper, a little young cooterbow. That don't lead to you finna get dismembered because this person 20 years older than you. That ain't the case. What the case here is trauma, pain, desperation, and idolization. That's what led up to this. What you have to understand is, for one, there is a savior complex right now throughout society being given to the white race, from black men and from black women. And both are doing it from pain and disappointment of their own race. The black men who go to a white woman, 9 out of 10 times, it's because they feel like black women have been harsher, less considerate, more whatever it is, more ghetto. The black women who go to white men, it's because they feel like black men are ghetto, are nasty, harsh, disrespectful, irresponsible. It comes from pain and disappointment of your own race. Somebody say, well, it's a lot of white people where she live at. That don't mean nothing, because she black, so it means it's black people there. And they black. They wasn't black assimilated white, because I seen her uncle or whoever that was. He basically was doing a spoken word poem on the TV. He was reading a poem about missing her, but it was rhyming. So they ain't assimilated. It wasn't like they live in an area to where the black people think they're white. And so what you have to realize is the lead up. So in every angle, and this is what you got to think about. If you're a parent, you need to be talking to your sons and your daughters. I just spent the last 30, 40 minutes ministering to my son about life stuff. You need to talk. If you're a parent, you need to be given the game every day, all day. They're going to get tired of it. They might act like they sick of it, but you got to give them the game. And what you say is going to start to show up in their life. Keep giving them the game. Like, now my son get to the place to where he'll say something that's like refuting. Like I told him, for example, I said, son, I can make $10 million right now if I want to. I can make $1 million a month if I want to, because I got the system in place, but I don't want to. I'm like, I make $1 million plus a year and I'm fine right there, because I know the older I get, the bigger my name will get and money will come. So I'm not in love with money. And he was like, well, I think it's good to maximize your potential too. I'm like, no, this is a marathon. So I am maximizing my potential. As a young black man who make over $1 million a year, that's maximizing potential. 10 million, that's overkill. I said, it's gonna come, but I'm not in a rush for it to come. So he said something that was refuting, but he just wanted to hear my explanation of why don't you put the pedal to the metal. Because I was like, son, I haven't worked in the last 2 weeks, like did nothing trying to sell nothing. I said, I'm just doing YouTube videos. I'm like, that ain't really no money, but it's like I'm not in a rush for money. So I explained it to him about not being greedy. But everything else I said, he ain't said a single word. He listened and he eating it up. He eating it up. He eating it up. And he need it. It's becoming fuel because our kids come to a place of uncertainty. You got to think about it. As adults, we have seasons of uncertainty. That's how I'm a life coach, because people are coming to me with uncertainty and they want somebody with an unbiased opinion. They want somebody from the outside looking in to look at their situation and to assess their situation. And they want somebody to be able to say like, hey, okay, this is what I see. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Even as adults. So you got to realize, and so people were saying, why they ain't talk to her? Why they ain't tell her, why this and that? We can't speak on them and their family, but what we can do is take the lesson. Don't let the young lady die in vain. Take the lesson and talk to your loved ones that you got their ear. Give them the game. Show them this story. If you got daughters, sons, of age or whatever, show them this story. Talk to them about it. Just let them know, hey, you got to be careful who you connect with, who you link with, especially if you're on. A lot of these kids today in their 20s, they on Tinder, they on Hinge, they on Bumble. You got to let them know that although somebody say she met him in person, they could meet somebody like this online. They also could meet somebody like this on person. So they need to have rules and regulations of what to do and what not to do. But you don't get dismembered because somebody older than you. This man, of course, he had a demonic spirit. He probably most likely is a porn addict and just had very demonic, satanic thoughts. And people say, well, he looks weird. Like he looked crazy. How could she not see that? And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The number one case right here is idolization and the savior complex that y'all are giving white men and white women. And that right there, savior complex, is the product of what the Willie Lynch letter said. Now, even though they say this is a fictional letter, whoever wrote it put some doggone truth in it, because we went from slaves to idolizing the slave master and thanking the slave master for our freedom, and then feeling indebted to the slave master. And then I seen several black women in the comments, yeah, black men don't do black women right. That's relationships. Human don't do humans right. You ever talk to a white woman about her husband? She's sick and tired of him. She fed up. She talking about, one lady talking about white men typically treat black women like a queen. Where you seen a white man treat a black woman like a queen? You don't live with them. You don't live with them. You can't. I'm a relationship coach, so I know you can't believe nothing you see about somebody's relationship, including mine. You can't believe nothing you see. Every relationship is knocked down, dragged out. Every relationship go to hell and back before it make it. There is no relationship between same race, interracial, same sex, opposite sex, homosexual, heterosexual. There is no relationship that is painless. There is no relationship that is problemless. Relationships have seasons. And then after you get through the seasons of selfishness, of self-hate, of greed, of manipulation, of control, of deception, after you outgrow those seasons, that's when you go into a season of rest. People don't understand that about relationships. You ain't never talked to somebody about a relationship who told you the truth, that told you it was painless, that told you they didn't shed tears, that told you they didn't want to give up, they didn't want to quit. The people that tell you they never wanted to quit, they never wanted to give up, they never shed a tear, they lying to you. They lying to you, because some people will lie just to save face. Some people will never show their true color. Some people will never show what they going through. Some people will lie just to save face. You got those kind of people. You done met those kind of people. You might be that type of person. Some people will cap for the comments just for the sake of capping for the comments, because they have a beg to differ spirit. So they will literally tell a lie just to be the opposition, just for the sake of argument. That's how people is. But you will never talk to somebody who has been in a relationship with another human being who will say it has always been peaches and cream and they've been treated like a queen the entire relationship, and this relationship have longevity. Yeah, you can be treated like a queen for the first 6 months. Yeah, you can be treated like a queen for the first year. But after that, you're going to go through. You're going to struggle. If not within that time period, you're going to struggle. And so here you have black women who ain't never had a white man fantasizing, talking about white men treat black women like a queen. Where? And the black women who may like they getting treated like a queen, it's because they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look like a failure. Somebody else commented that her sister was with a white man, got with him, got pregnant, had his baby, got married, and said that when they would get into a fight, he would call her the N-word, N-I-G-G-E-R, would call her N-word. And I said, I believe that. I believe that 100%. I already know that's what's going to happen. Because a black man will call a black woman a B, the B word. But a white man will call a black woman the N word. And it's going to hurt worse than the B word. But the man, men are men. The man going to say, you married to me. You going to go through a whole divorce court because I call you an N? You got my kids. We going to get a divorce and break up because I call you an N? And then he going to cry. Then he going to beg. Then he going to plead. Then he going to say sorry. Then he going to say, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. You hurt me. I want to hurt you. I don't believe that. I don't use that word in no other context at any other time. I don't feel that way. And he going to boo-hoo cry. I want my family. I want my kids. He going to do all that. And she going to say, she going to do the same thing that a black woman do for black men. She going to tough it out. She going to tough it out. She going to suck it up. And she not going to tell a soul other than her sister who came in the comments and let us know that little piece about her sister relationship, because that's all she going to tell, because she too embarrassed to tell anybody else, because she went to the other race and probably thought at the beginning, this finna be gravy. This finna be a blessing. Woo, girl. Got the white man. Woo, got this lost imposter. N. He called her that N word. What the such and such you just called me? You white cracker. You hokey. You country dirty white trailer. I mean, she hit him with every white slur she done ever heard. She made up some white slurs. You corn picking hen ninny packer. She came up with some words after he called her that N word. Listen to me. That's what set this up. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. And even when I'm sitting here saying this on this video, it's still black women. Well, white men is better. Now one of them said, I got a white husband and it's amazing. Ain't nobody say that. I got a white husband. He's never made me cry. He's never hurt my feelings. He treated me like, ain't nobody say that. Now somebody gonna say it on this video for the sake of argument with a fake account, just to say it. But ain't nobody said that because it's not true. Relationships go through. But what they said is from their fantasy, from what they heard. Oh, white men do treat black women better. Listen to me. The reason why that happens is because it's exploration. We all treat someone that we date of another race better initially because we're exploring them. We're getting to know them. We're learning them. And so that's why we treat them like that, because we feel like this is new, this is different. It's like a science project. It's an experiment. It's not something that you just treating them better because you're an amazing person. You treating them better because it's new to you. But once you learn the lay of the land, and once you figure them out and you figure out how this work and how this go, and you learn they system, you learn who they are, what they are, how they are, then guess what? You treat them just like you would treat anybody else. And I interviewed a white man who is very cultural. He understands both races. He got a very deep story because he's adopted. He did a whole documentary on rhythm and blues in New Orleans, Mississippi. He wrote a history. He wrote a book on the origin of the mafia. He's a white man. He got a white wife, but he got a lot of black friends. I'm one of them. He's a historian, got a master's degree in it. So he studies history. And I did an interview with him. I didn't release it because he's unfiltered. He's not media trained, and it would have hurt a lot of feelings. But he said, a white man who gets with a black woman, like genuinely, is because he wants to be dominated. He said no white man that is like a real man wants a black woman, because white men feel like that black women are more of a man than they are. This coming from across the aisle now. This coming from a white man now. But think about it though. It's true. Because that's why black women have this narrative that white men treat them like a queen. Because they're the dominant one in the relationship. They're the head. The white man is afraid of them because he is filled with white guilt. So he has to walk on eggshells until he really get to know her. But until he really get to know her and he get comfortable, get married and have kids, he got to walk on eggshells because of what his ancestors did. Because he knows she already hypersensitive. He knows she already worried. He knows she already like, okay, like, what did you say? What is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? And she coming with that same attitude that she got into a fist fight with a black ex. But this guy, he like, oh. Shaniqua Misha, Nicole Johnson, excuse me, I'm sorry. Like, forgive me for the 400 years of slavery. Oh my goodness. Like, I didn't mean that. I literally wanted fried chicken today. Like, and it's watermelon season. Like, I literally wanted fried chicken and watermelon. I did not mean, that was not meant to be racist, Shaniqua Misha. Like, give me a break. Jaden, come here. Come here, Jaden. Come talk to your mom. Can you tell your mom, what do you want to eat today? See? Jaden Alexander Johnson wants fried chicken as well. Shaniqua? And so she on edge. And so because she on edge, that's how she get treated like a queen, because he got white guilt. This is conversations that we can't talk about. This conversation that we got to be on Saturday Night Live and framed as a joke, because we can't tell the truth about really what's going on. It's not that the white man sees the black woman as a queen and black men don't see her as a queen. It's familiarity breeds contempt. That's why black men treat black women the way black men treat black women, is because familiarity breeds contempt. When you know somebody, when you smell somebody, when you grew up with somebody, when you know the good of somebody, you know the bad of somebody, you're going to treat them less than. You're going to treat them less than you should be treating them, because you too complacent. And a black man has to mature. He got to grow, and he got to be checked by that black woman. And then he treated her like a queen. Do you think me and men like me and R.C. Blakes, you think we treating our wives like trash? No. Because we done had to grow. We done been checked. We done been taught to. We done built. We done gone through the tough times. And so you learn how to treat your woman. It ain't a manual for a black man growing up, because we come from trauma. Our race come from trauma. We ain't got no manual on how to be married, how to stay married. We had to learn and then write the manual. But see, the white man, he does come from family. He come from stability. He come from two-parent households. So he know what it look like. He know what it feel like. He know what it sound like. And reason why most white men go to a black woman is because white women don't want them. And that's the same reason why a lot of black women go to a white man, is because the black men don't want her, or she done been hurt. So you got people like a Candace Owens, who it's a lot of black men that will be with her, but a lot of black men wouldn't put up with her mouth. She wouldn't be able to pop off at the mouth with a black man. She'll get checked. She'll get put in her place real quick. And she don't want that. But with this white man, she could pop off like she Donald Trump, and he'll sit there and just kind of go back and forth with her and just, whatever you say, Candace. All right, Candace. You know what? Forget it, Candace. Whatever you want. Okay. Yeah. All right. What do you want? All right. But a black man gonna be like, hey, hold on. Now listen. I don't normally curse, but I want to ask you, who the F you think you talking to? That's how a black man is. You know why? Because he not afraid of her. He not scared of her. And she done seen that. She done felt that. So the type of black women who could get black men who end up going with a white man, is because a black man is too rough around the edges for her, or too unlearned for her, too ghetto for her. And she said that in so many ways, that the way she came up, how she eat, how she like to live, how she like to go. Basically, she was saying, y'all Negroes behind me. Y'all beneath me. Y'all ain't traveled enough. Y'all ain't seen enough. Y'all ain't cultured enough. Y'all don't know enough. So I got to have me a white man who done seen something, who done ate sashimi, who done been to Thailand or Japan, and who listen to classical music, but also can respect 90s rap and R&B. That's what she was saying. And so that's when you really study this stuff, there's a lot of idolization of other races when it comes to interracial dating. And it's not in every case, because there are exceptions to the rule. There are exceptions to the rule. But one thing I noticed, it's a lot of black people who are with black people who still idolize other races over their black race. Like, it's still, I noticed that even with certain islanders, they would prefer a white person over a black American. Like certain black people from other countries, don't like black Americans. They like other races over black Americans. And they kind of like, y'all dumb, y'all ignorant, y'all, and they don't take into consideration what slavery did to black Americans mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They don't take that into consideration. They just look at it like, oh, y'all dumb, y'all less than, y'all ghetto, y'all this, y'all that. And it's because they came from another country, which if you come from another country, some of them coming from another country in opulence. Some of them came from another country in poverty. But the ones who definitely came in opulence, like they came and it was because of their family had money and they could afford the flights and afford the visas and afford whatever, citizenship by investment or whatever it is, to get a job over here because of their education or what have you. A lot of times they just look down on black Americans. So what's happening is the idolization. And y'all have to stop doing this, because that's underlying. And just because this young lady could be around all white people don't mean she don't put them on a pedestal. And don't mean that other people is putting other races on a pedestal and is setting you up to be duped. That's why so many black men, so many black athletes are getting used by a white woman. So many black athletes are getting used by not even a white woman, but a woman of another race who would not be with them if they were not a millionaire. And I don't want to say names for y'all to Google, because some of these men follow me on social media. And I know some of these men. I've met some of these men personally. But it's a lot of black athletes who, and I want y'all to really look into it. Really look at it. Like, look at Russell Wilson. Before he got with Sierra, he had to go get him some blackberry juice. But before he got with Sierra, he had a white woman. Why do you think he had a white woman? Look at Mahomes. I think he half white. Russell Wilson might be half white too, or someone has some white somewhere in there. But down the line could be, or just not been told about it. But look at Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, white woman. Look at RG3, white woman. A lot of these guys get a white woman. You know why they get a white woman? It's because they start to feel like that they can talk better to a white woman. It's like if they went to a certain type of school and they learn proper English, when they go talk to a black woman, a lot of the black girls that went to their school was unattractive because it wasn't a plethora of them. So a lot of times the black girls at a private school, it be the more unattractive black girls for whatever reason. And it could be because they got bullied at a public school, or it could be they could be unattractive because their parents don't really like raise them. They raise rich, so they raise spoiled, so they don't have maybe the best hygiene, or they don't take care of their body the best, like they overeat. And so a lot of times at private schools, it's not a lot of attractive people of color. I went to a private school. I can attest to this. I went to a private high school, 10th to 12th grade, and I went to a private college. The attractive people of color, it be sprinkled here and there, here and there. But when at a public school, it's so many people of color in certain areas that you're going to see all the different shapes, all the different sizes, the colors, complexions, all the different looks. So you got a plethora. So had they went to like a school with a plethora of black women, they could have met black women who talk like them and who have their interests. But a lot of times these young men, they come from well-to-do families, or they come from an area to where they talk more proper, they into different stuff, and the black girls kind of look at them like they corny. And the black girls will want like the thug, will want the dope boy, because she come from poverty. So she want the dope boy because he got money. He could buy her clothes. He could let her drive his car to school. And so she not even thinking about longevity. She thinking about being Miss It right here and now. And so he connects with a white woman who she nice, she chill, she friendly, she accept him for who he is. She don't laugh at him because of his accent or his voice. Like Patrick Mahomes' voice, it'll be hard to find a black woman that would not pick on him about that voice. His voice is so unique. He talk like he holding his nose. A black woman just she gonna make a joke. Like even my wife, who can relate to the white race a lot. Like my wife could code switch like a mug. Do you hear me? But my wife always clowning me. She is always clowning me. And everybody can't handle that. Everybody can't handle that. Some of these men, if you ain't got good self-esteem, a black woman will hurt your feelings, but she just playing with you. She just playing with you. And that's the thing about the black race. It's a very unique race. We all know that. But what happened is we start to get into self-hate and we start to get into insecurity. And that's when we start to idolize other races. Because even as a black man, it's days that I've had fantasies about being with an Asian woman, thinking that an Asian woman gonna be giving pedicures and manicures and massages all the time. That racist. That's racist. That's ignorant. But that's the image that we painted. The image is painted is that Asian women is just servitude, and that you're gonna be just served hand and foot. But honestly, that's not the truth, because when you look at an Asian man, he ready to pull his hair out. And a lot of these Asians with money, when you look at their wife, you can already tell they woman spend too much money. A black man will lose his mind with the way an Asian woman want to spend that money. They be having on Louis, Chanel, Gucci. They got the cars. I met an Asian woman in the airport. We was in the we met over looking for the charger. Man, listen. Asian woman got 3-4 cars. Asian woman got $2 million worth of stuff in her closet. I mean, she flying all around the world, all on private jets. I mean, just spending and going without her husband, taking her daughter, stuff like that, just spending like it's no tomorrow. Black millionaires don't let their woman spend like that. You still got a budget. You still got a budget. For a little season, when Steve Harvey had the Steve Harvey show and he was making that $42 million a year, Marjorie Harvey ain't had no budget. Marjorie got a budget now. Marjorie got a budget now. You don't see Marjorie posting like she used to post. Because I don't see her post no more. Her posts used to be so epic and iconic, they was viral. I never followed her, but I still would see it on the popular page. I don't see her post no more. She probably still do a little luxury here and there. They still, of course, they got luxury, still got money. They made a lot of money. But she on a budget now. Because the Steve Harvey show got canceled. The talk show got canceled. Guess what? That's $42 million gone. Ugh. $42 million gone. Ugh. $42 million gone. And I know the money done changed because Steve doing a deal right now with a company that I turned down. So that tell me it's a different situation right now. It's a different situation right now. So it's like, hey, you got to think about that. And this is what I'm trying to tell you is there's a misconception of other races, and we idolize and we put other people above us, not realizing that everybody's stuff stink. Everybody's house dirty. Everybody got the same problems. Everybody got the same problems, man. Everybody got the same issues. Everybody go through the same stuff. Don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that. Oh, no. They life better than ours. They better than us. And that right there. Because think about this. People say, well, Tony, how could this young lady not see that this man look crazy? You don't see the person as looking crazy when your race and people who look like you are idolizing this race and giving these men a savior complex. You just look at the man as, well, that's him. That's how he look. That's who he is. That's just their style. They just rustic. They just country. They just eclectic. They just different. That's just they look. God bless him. This man drive a car that he got to get out and lock it with the key. God bless him. Older man too, going to work out. God bless him. What is a little Kia? A Kia, okay. God bless him. Let me give him a round for when he come back out here and hit my car with it. Cause I ain't buy the insurance on this here, so I can't afford no dings and dents. I don't like when people park right next to me, but you know. And so that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing that people don't want to hear about and talk about. They don't want to hear about that. That we secretly idolizing other races. And the same thing too with black men and white women. Like, I want you to understand it go both ways, because guess what I seen? I seen a white woman who, what we call thicker than a snicker, and what I call one Oreo away from being too big, right? So this type of shape, a black man is used to it. Most black men is used to this because a lot of black women got meat on their bones. So a lot of black men is used to a black woman having thighs, booty, stomach, arms. We used to it. And the way that we eat, the stress that we have in our life, just being black in America especially, you have a lot of stress, so your body releasing a lot of cortisol, and that cortisol really builds fat around your organs in your abdomen. So you get a lot of stomach fat from the cortisol, and then not sleeping good just because of the stress. So now that is messing up the body to where you can't burn the fat the right way. Having kids, having stress, being overworked and underpaid, all of this lead to the black experience. And so that lead to our weight gain, that lead to our obesity, that lead to our diabetes, and why so many black people got type 2 diabetes. And so here's this white, I'm gonna call her a white girl because she was young, looked like she was in her early 20s. And y'all might see this online trending. She was like cooking for my boyfriend. Her boyfriend is black, but he looked like a nerd. And no I'm not using that term in a derogatory way. I'm using it the way nerds use it. Even though I'm not a nerd, I'm using the way they use it. So it's not a lot of nerds call themselves nerd. So the N-word, but I ain't using it like the N-word, like, you know, white people use the N-word against black people. But you know how some white people use the N-word with their black friends. That's how I'm using nerd. So this guy, he looked like a nerd to me. And so I think he had on some glasses. He just looked a little slobber mouth. He just looked like he played video games, and like he like a software engineer, and just he into computers, he into video games, and he into anime. He looked like that type of black guy to me. He did not look like he got no bite woods rolling up and he shoot dice and he go to casino and he betting on the games in the hood. He did not look like that type of black guy. So here you got this white woman who is built like a black woman. White men don't want her. White men like slim and petite. If you notice, I noticed this yesterday in the gym. Adult white women, a lot of adult white women, booty cheek is still like the size of a child. Like a lot of adult, like I don't have a big hand. You know, I got little hands from my mama, and studies to prove that ain't got no correlation. And so imagine, take your hand, because your hand, if you're a woman, your hand might be the size of mine, your hand might be bigger than mine. But imagine trying to get your whole booty cheek in your hand. Stretch your hand out, tuck the thumb, tuck the top finger. Can you fit your booty cheek in that? There is a lot of adult white women that you could fit that whole booty cheek in that hand probably. That whole booty cheek could fit in that hand. It's some black women that's like that, but it's a lot less. Most black women, you're gonna need 2-3 hands to cuff a booty cheek. So the white men don't want this white woman because of how she built. This just the truth of the matter. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Black women don't really want this black man because he don't have any swagger. Most black women want swag. They want swag. They want a man who feels like a man, not like a teenage boy. They want a man who is got a presence to him, got a little aura to him, little stoicism. They want to feel like they with a masculine man, because a black woman is very tough. Because of what she done experienced in her life, she got thick skin on average. So this is how interracial dating comes about, really. It's from individuals who have been ostracized or mistreated by their race for one reason or another. And then they they meet somebody of another race and they hit it off. This is how it happened a lot of times. Like my homeboy who got a white wife, right before his white wife, he was with he dated 2 or 3 different black women. The last black woman he dated before his white wife, she raked him over the coals. She did him so nasty. She played with him. She used him. She led him on. And the reason why she did that is because she wanted the thugs and the cool guys. And here he came, very nice, very kind. You know, he's an overweight guy. You know, meaning he's a husky guy, big guy. She went and got the opposite of him. Like same look, but just half the size, you know, in far as body size. And just a little more edge, like a little more swag. But my homeboy just really nice guy, good guy, raised in a 2-parent home, amazing guy, has 0 enemies. And the black women he dated before his white wife, they could not appreciate him. They could not appreciate him because they was addicted to trauma, addicted to toxicity, addicted to the thugs, and thinking that a thug is a man, not realizing that a thug is a punk. A thug is a grown boy. But they didn't realize that because they was ignorant to what a real man is. And here they had a real man, but they couldn't appreciate a real man because he wasn't of the height or of the weight or what have you. So they treated him, you know, like a Rudy Poo. They treated him like a Rudy Poo. And so I remember he was hurt. He was just really distraught. It really hurt his feelings. I remember he was like showing up at her place. She was saying that he's stalking her. Like she tried to call the law on the man, like tried to get the man in trouble, just basically tried to make the man out to be crazy, but really not realizing is that she made him crazy because she was lying to him and misleading him and playing games with him, and he was just coming over to the house to have a face-to-face conversation. And I remember the lady, like her whole family loved him. Everybody loved him but her, because she wanted to be cool. She wanted her guy who was in the streets, who was him, you know, seen as cool. Like she was looking for something else. She was looking for something else. And then here go the white woman who had been around black people her whole life. You know, she know honestly how to dance better than a lot of black women, if I'm gonna be honest with you, because she was raised around black people. So she liked black men. But guess what? She didn't judge this black man because of his weight. She judged him because of his weight. She judged him because of his height. She judged him by his heart. he did the same with her because she not what a white man looking for, because she got a thicker nose than the traditional white girl. She got a thicker body than the traditional white girl. So white guys is not really looking for her. And so they met and they hit it off. That's the same thing with this couple I seen online. But guess what this woman was doing? This woman cooking for her boyfriend every day. When I tell you this woman cooking short rib with mashed potato, little brown gravy, sauteed vegetable. When I tell you this young man, he eating like he make the money I make. When I see that, I'm like, what? When I see that, I'm like, I need a white word. I know every black man who seen that said, I need a white woman. You know why? Because it's glorified. But guess what she probably do? This woman probably cheat all on him. If a tall, muscular black guy come, she'll probably let that man ram everything in her. Dismember everything in her. Because she fantasizes about black men. It's a fetish for her. But this young black man probably don't know that. The reason why I know that, because it happened to me in college. Dated a white girl because she kept pursuing me. She wanted to deal with me. She had a car. She had money. So I say, what the heck? I ain't seen nobody else at this school look even halfway decent. This girl don't look good, but she got a car. So I'll be able to get around. She got money. She'll be taking me out to eat, buying me clothes. What the heck? I talked to her for the money. I ain't gonna lie to you. But then after talking to her, I'm like, okay, she a cool person. She a chill person. So I made her my girlfriend. So now I'm thinking we dating, but I was playing around. So I'm sleeping with other women. You know, I'm a player. I'm a dog. Well, her roommate told her if he could do it, you could do it. So my homeboys on my football team, when they knew I was going to sleep with such and such, they hit her up. Hey, what's up? What you doing? Want to come over there? Tony sleeping with such and such right now. So here go black men now, stabbing me in the back, but they went and slept with the young lady, the white young lady. So that right there is when I learned that a lot of times when you dating outside your race, there's no loyalty. A lot of times there's no loyalty because it's something that's new and it's an experiment. So the same way I never had loyalty to a white woman, I never met a white woman that had loyalty to me, that I dated. Because it's new, you experimenting. And what do you do on an experiment? For those of y'all who went through science class, you do several different ones. You got your hypothesis, but then you test several different times. So a lot of this interracial dating is a test. It's an experiment. And when you experiment, you don't just experiment with one size, one shape, one shade, one color, one height. You might go through several different ones until you find your one. But you could be with one and be experimenting with others and lying to the one until you fall in love. And it take time though. It take time. And so this right here is what be happening. And so I want you to realize and understand this. And really start to understand that you cannot look at another race as better than you and better than your race. You can't look at another race and say just because they have more money or traditionally more stable or more families that they're a better person than me. You got to look at them the same way you will look at your race. So the equivalent of this white man who took this young lady's life, the equivalent of him in the black race would pretty much almost be like a homeless black man. A black man who is homeless or like really down on his luck, the way you picture his facial hair and his hair looking, that's what this white man looked like. Had a black woman seen a black man that looked equally as scraggly and as strange as that white man, she would have passed him by. She would have ignored him. She would, ugh. Because it's her own race, she see it different. She could judge it different. But when you look at another race, you make concessions. And now we looking at it from the outside looking in, so it's easy to say he looks strange. Yeah, because you know he done dismembered somebody. So your mind cannot get beyond, no, Tony, even if he hadn't did that, I still think he'll look strange. No, you wouldn't. Because he walking around out here every day. He work with you. It's white men look like that on your job, that you're not even noticing that they look strange because they ain't dismembered nobody. They ain't got no rap sheet of domestic violence. So we have cognitive bias. We have these different biases based on what we done seen or what we know. We could be biased. And so now that we know what he done did, he looking even more strange. But this guy's walking around like that. This guy, it's multi-millionaires that look like that. It's multi-millionaire white men that look like that. And if you met that multi-millionaire man, you'll be open sesame, spread eagle. Come on in here, Conahey, Dempsey, Clooney. Come on over here. You scraggling for your movie? Okay, all right, come on over here. You'll be open sesame. Wouldn't think nothing of it. But if you seen your own race looking that rough, ooh, what the world happened to you? What you going through? My goodness. Take a bath, get a shave, go get a haircut, do something with yourself. My goodness. But guess what? When you idolize and you pedestalize, and it's from a subconscious, you don't realize the lies. So you have to take these people off the pedestal. If you got a Hispanic up there, a Asian up there, a white up there, a black up there, you got to take people off the pedestal and you got to judge them for who they are. Use discernment for who they are, what they show you, and you got to take your time. So here's the thing. A black person will take and make a black person work harder because they know them and they comfortable with them and they done seen bad stuff about them or they race. So they'll say, oh, I'm going to take my time with you because you probably a liar. You probably a cheater. But then they'll go to another race and they won't keep that same energy. They'll be like, oh, I'll come over to your house on the first date because you white, so I know that means you safe. You white, so that means you not a thug. You know, you don't look like a thug. You don't look like a rapist. You don't look like a killer. So I come over to your house on the first day because of what I think about white people. I think white people are nice and clean and responsible and respectable. So I'll take my no coming over to your house on the first date. I'll take that rule and throw it away because you white. And this what happens with this racial idolatry. When you are looking at somebody and you putting them on a pedestal. And some people do it to their own race and most people do it to another race. And you just can't. It's kind of like if I'm a black man and I come from a certain area and I know that we financially illiterate and I know that most of us don't have financial literacy where I come from. If I'm dating a black girl from where I come from, I'm not going to let her touch my money. I'm not going to let her manage my money. But then if I take and I meet a white girl, I may be like, hey, you'll help me out with my money, manage my money and, pay my bills. And it's only because I'm telling myself that her race is financial literate. And that's the problem. And that's how we get taken advantage of. Do you know how many black athletes have gone broke because they trusted a white man? It's a lot that have gone broke with black men too. But a lot of the black men trust a white man as an agent, as a manager, because the black men are telling themselves he's smarter. He's smarter. And you're right, he is smarter. He's smart enough to pull the wool over your eyes and to bend you over. You're right. He's smarter. He finna take all your millions. See, me, I got sense. I never ever let anybody have control over my money. And I never will. Nobody can ever in their life have access to my bank account to be able to pay a bill for me, other than my wife, to be able to pay a bill for me or send money to anywhere. I'm going to send the wire or the Zelle or the Cash App myself. I will never trust another human being other than my wife with my money. And you can't trust your spouse half the time because they human too. They human too. Your spouse will dip in there. Your spouse will move money. Some of y'all that's a spouse, you know it's true. We'll dip and slide a little change here and there. You can't trust humans. You got to get to know a person and let a person show themselves approved. You can't just off the rip just go to trusting somebody because you're going to get set up. And so this is what's happening. This idolizing of another race is setting people up to be killed, setting people up to be, somebody say, well, black women kill more by black men than white men. That's just because it's more black women with black men than white men. But if you look at the numbers and you even the numbers out and you take that same pool of people, then you're going to see that it might be a higher rate the other way around. But we're not going to hear about that because the media is white. So they're not going to show us every time a white man take a black woman life because they don't want all these riots. They don't want all this picketing. They don't want all this stuff in the street. So they're not going to let it hit national news. It's just going to hit local news for the most part. But it's happening both ways. It's happening both ways. And then the thing too, majority of the time when you see a black man take a black woman life, 9 out of 10 times that you see that happen, she cheated on him. Even if he had cheated on her, it was out of rage. When you see a white man take a black woman life, it don't be retaliation. It doesn't be a crime. It's not a crime of passion. When black men kill a black woman, 9 out of 10 times, it is a crime of passion. They got into a big fight. Somebody cheated. Somebody did this. It was a crime of passion. What this white man, Maxwell, whatever his name was, that wasn't no crime of passion. This woman had done nothing to him, never cheated on him. He ain't even know her. He just dismembered this woman. He just killed this woman for no reason. And that is the difference. So you can't compare apples to oranges because it's black women that kill black men too. When he cheat, it's a lot of black men who've lost their life for cheating on a black woman. And guess what happened too? And this one I'm trying to tell you about. There was a man named Abraham from my county, from Polk County. He hit the lottery. He was approached by an overweight white woman. Here this white woman is, she was single. Because a white man typically do not like a lot of meat on the bones of his woman. This woman was single. Where we from, this woman, and forgive my French, but where we from, this woman is called trailer trash by other white people. And then, therefore, by black people as well. Referred to as trailer trash. It's a term. I don't like it. I don't use it. I ain't condone. I'm just explaining the context. Abraham was approached by this white woman. And because he was like an island man, I think originally he from somebody's island. He had locks. He wore them wrapped up and had the little stocking cap on top of them. wasn't educated formally, but hit the lottery, won like $1 million or something. Wasn't even no crazy lottery. He messed around, went into business, conjoined with the white woman. The white woman stole all his money, murdered him, and buried him under the cement in her backyard of a house that she had built with his money. It's on American greed. It's on American greed. Abraham would have never. Abraham had a baby mama, a black girl who looks compatible with him. Abraham ain't let his baby mama touch his money. Abraham ain't let his baby mama, he barely even let his baby mama have no money. But because this woman was white, because she white, she gotta be right. Because she white, she gotta be bright. Because she white, I gotta fly the kite. So here it is again, idolizing a race because of the social conditioning to believe that your race, the black race, is debaucherous, treacherous, goons, losers, lost, stupid, dumb, less than, lazy. We begin to believe the narrative that is painted about us, and we start to hate ourselves and desire someone else of another race because their race is painted as superior to our race. And this is what sets us up to be killed, and sets us up to be raped, and sets us up to be bamboozled and swindled by another race because we trust them. It's a man came to me. Men come to me all the time. White men come to me all the time, and they want to benefit from my audience. And because they have gone to other black men who have opened up the doors and given them carte blanche into their life, they think I'm going to do the same thing, but they don't realize that I don't trust you. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you glow in the dark. I don't trust you. So you ain't getting none of my audience. You ain't getting nothing. It got to go through me. I got to vet it. I got to vet it, and then I got to introduce it. I ain't bringing you on to introduce nothing, because I don't trust you. But see, it's a lot of black men today, too, in business that's being finessed by men of other races, Asians, whites, typically Asian or white, because those races are painted as smart, as productive, as successful, just like the Asian man who just stole from his Asian brother. Both of y'all Asian. How you stealing from your fellow Asian? The baseball player who got the largest contract in the history, I can't remember if it was $750 million, something crazy. The baseball player got a contract. This man had, I think it was over $16 million stole from him by his financial advisor, which was another Asian man. This man went in and betted with all that money that he stole. He betted. He was gambling. Come on now. Again, trusting for the wrong reason. Oh, you smart. Oh, you great in math. Oh, you did great in school. Oh, you got a 1600 on your SAT. Oh, yeah, I'm going to let you have access to my money. Absolutely not. Don't ever let nobody have access to your money. I had a young black NBA player who wired me $100,000 for one of my cars, bought one of my cars from him. And he had to write a white man and say, hey, send Tony $100K. I say, what in the I ain't say nothing cause people be calling me racist. They be thinking I'm racist. No, I ain't racist. I'm just wise. You not me to get no access to my money. I talked to somebody. He said, no, man, I check that account every day. I see every dime. He said both of us on the account. So anything he sent, I see it. I'm like, all right. I said, boy, you better keep checking now, because sometimes that money go to stacking up. You'll forget to check. Logging in and check. Like my wife get on to me because I'll be like, hey, that was you spent that $13 at. Wallow.com. I just made that up. That ain't no real site. She was like, yes, that was me. I was like, okay, I'm just checking. I said, I just checked my stuff because I done been hit with fraud before. I said, I done been hit with fraud before, so I just checked. Because I got hit with fraud. Somebody had my card number. I think it was the jet operator. Somebody had my card number, and they was buying sushi in South Florida. And my jet company that I booked private jets with, they in South Florida. I had to send this man a picture of about 3 different cars because it was different flights. I would book it with different cars, whichever car had the most room or the most points. And I had to send him a picture of my license and my card. But these people that's brokering these jets, they don't make a lot of money, and the work is not always consistent. This young white boy went to buying sushi for the office off my card because he figured if you flying private, you got so much money you don't watch it. No, I watched it, and I wrote him. I said, hey, it's been some sushi being bought down there, and ain't nobody got my card number but you. And I know ain't no scammer from Miami, South Florida finna get my card number offline off the Blight Web and buy sushi. So what's going on, Playboy? He didn't respond. That's how I know he was guilty. Because, boy, he used to respond so fast, and he put another person on my account. He put me with another person. And then the head person wrote, hey, Tony, you ain't booked with us in a while. What's going on? I wrote the man back. I said, yeah, one of my cars was being used for sushi in the office down there in South Florida. And ain't nobody have my card number but the guy that I used to work with named Zachary or Zach. That man ain't respond. That let me know they was guilty. These all white men now. They all in on this. Oh, black people don't know nothing about money. Black people don't watch their money. You know, so these black guys that we got booking these jets, man, we could live off of this. Like we could buy sushi for the office, man. They're not gonna recognize $250. You think someone who flies private is gonna recognize $250? I am. I'm gonna recognize 25 cents. I'm gonna recognize it. So listen, this one I'm trying to tell you is that this thing that we talk about with this young lady, this ain't got nothing to do with the age gap. It ain't got nothing to do with the age gap, because it's a lot of men got a woman 20 years younger than them and they ain't chopping them up. They ain't got nothing to do with the age gap. It got to do with the trust that was given to his race from her race. Her race and women like her are online talking all about pasta and lobster. So his shabby look was overlooked. His age was overlooked because he looked like possibly he could be a savior. He's way older. He's way taller. He's a white guy. I've been hurt by black men. I've been beat by black men, lied to by black men, cheated on by black men. This is going to be a breath of fresh air because he's white. And white men treat black women like queens. Just like them few women said in the comments on that last video, that white men treat black women like queens. That is the belief. So that makes you drop your guard, rush your process, and do things you would not normally do things you would not otherwise do, because you believe that this person is more trustworthy, more honest, more reliable. And that's the issue. Hey, so get this in your spirit. Get this in your spirit. I'm going to be hitting you with some real talk. Get this in your spirit. We're going to be in touch. God bless you. We'll talk soon.